Hello, and welcome into the CatCast. Here, as always, is your host, Cat Kennison, to bring you a podcast. I know, it sounds down, but this is a special midnight edition of the CatCast. And it's because 7 years ago, my life was turned upside down. And still to this day, I'm sad about it. 7 years, you would think, man, that's a long time, 7 years of bad luck if you break a mirror, right? Feels like I broke a mirror. So I can't sleep, it's the anniversary of the day that, was very traumatic to Cat, as you can possibly understand, because still bothers me. And most people would have moved on. Not that I haven't tried, because I have really tried. But, I don't know, just hasn't happened. But, I'm going to do this podcast and talk about this, because, not talking about it hasn't helped. Back when it happened, talking about it didn't help. But I feel like there's nothing anymore holding me back to talk about it. Like after 7 years, I feel like I should be forgiven, and it doesn't feel like I ever will be, even though I really don't think I did anything wrong. So I might as well just talk about it, Maybe that'll make me feel better, at least putting it out there. So I'm going to do that. I'm not meant, again, as I always say, I'm not trying to hurt anybody. I'm trying to help myself here. And maybe this will help. I don't know. But as of yet, I'm still struggling. And a lot of it is from dreams, which is subconscious, which I don't know how to change my subconscious. I can handle the day pretty good. I force myself to be happy. But at night, when I go to sleep, I have nightmares. And they just won't stop. And I don't know what to do about it. So, I'm going to tell you guys about my situation. Last week, I went to Callahan's with my friend Pyro, and a couple of church members that I used to go to church with happened to bump into me there. And it was all I could do to start crying. How much I missed going to church with them. But I was with my friend, and I didn't want to make a scene. So I did my big boy britches, and I just bit the hell out of my tongue, and did my strong face, and didn't get upset. But I was. For people to pretend to be my friends when they obviously aren't is incredibly hurtful. I would have rather they didn't even pay me any mind than to pretend to be my friends in front of a real friend. And I didn't even want to tell my real friend about how awful these people are to me. But a church has destroyed my life. They broke me up from the woman I loved. When they found out what they did, they didn't want anybody else to know about it. So they accused me of being threatening, and basically said that we will, if you ever show up, we'll charge you with trespassing. Call the police. So you can see how that would deeply affect someone. when really you don't think you did anything wrong. And they're just making up things about you to keep you away from the church, because they don't want anybody to know what they did to you. Because that's could probably really hurt the church. I don't think it does, because, there are plenty of people that know, and nobody's left the church. So I don't think it has really any effect, to tell you the truth. It's had a deep effect on Kat, because Christians preach forgiveness, and I don't ever see it. And even the lady that seen me at Callahan's, when I told her I in text message, I just don't want to talk with her anymore. That I had received a letter from the church, but I didn't even want to read it, because I had a feeling it was not going to be conducive, and it was going to upset me more. So I never even read the letter. And the lady said it's probably good, because I probably wasn't going to get the resolution I want, which is just to be let back into the church. I've tried going to other churches, but I really cannot put faith in another church after what was done to me, because I never thought that church would do it to me. So how can I ever trust another church? And I've told other churches what this church has done, and none of them want to go with me to try to rectify the issue. It's like, I don't want to do any of that. So it's kind of like what the priests did with the pedophiles. They just move them around and protect them, because, it's really about the almighty dollar, and it's not about saving souls or any of that anymore. And I'm really sad to say that as a Christian. But that's why people get the fake Christian label, because it seems like they go to church and do that, but then the rest of the week they don't practice it. And here I am 7 years later waiting to be forgiven, and I have yet to see it happen on a religion that teaches forgiveness. So I don't know if I can ever go to church again, really, until this church forgives me, which I don't see happening. Not going to church has not helped me either. I miss my relationship with God. I still have it. I've started my CB service, and I do services on there and prayers for people, and but there is no church service in my life like I used to have with my family at the church, and worship and all that good stuff. I don't get that anymore, and I don't think I ever will, from what it sounds like. None of my friends ever stand up and say, "Oh, I'll go to the church and talk for you." Nobody wants to do anything for me when it comes to trying to fix this. And it's like they throw their hands up and say, "It can't be fixed." And I'm like, wow. That's just, to me, amazing. But I did have the priest say to me one time that she couldn't cure somebody's cancer. I was like, I never expected you to cure somebody's cancer, but to say that to me, to relate my situation to curing cancer, was highly insulting. And I still, I get tremors, I get a fast heart rate. I'm trying to stay incredibly calm right now, just telling you about it, because of how much it affects me. And I don't know what to do. I've seen a lot of therapists, and I've seen my psychologist, and I've been put on lots of medicine. I've tried to be hypnotized. I've tried just about everything, but I'm open to ideas um, how to fix this because these bad dreams, they just really affect me negatively, and I don't know how to stop them. I really am at a loss. They put me on one drug that will make you not dream. Problem is, if you don't fall asleep in like 20 minutes, this drug makes you feel like you're going to die. So the first time I took it, I didn't know about that. And I'm like, oh my God, what the hell's wrong with me? So the next day I go to the pharmacy and I'm like, I didn't fall asleep right away and this drug made me feel weird. They look it up and they're like, oh yeah, you got to fall asleep quickly or it's not good. I'm like, oh great. That makes me super nervous then. Then the next night I want to take it. I'm like, okay, I gotta fall asleep. I can't fall asleep because I'm all paranoid about, I gotta fall asleep real quick. That's not how Cat falls asleep. I again felt like I was going to die. And I'm like, well, that's worse than the bad dreams. I can't take that drug anymore. That's the only one they have to stop bad dreams. They use it for people with PTSD, which obviously I have, usually for military, you know. But probably a real good thing I didn't go into the military, looks like, when something like this affects me so deeply. Can you imagine me in the military? Nah, wouldn't have been good. But, yeah, so I can't take that drug. And, but I think it would have helped. Tried the hypnotizing, because I thought that does subconscious. Didn't help. So, I'm kind of at a loss at what I should do anymore. I have some bad ideas that aren't great ideas, but I'm like, I guess I could put on porn and fall asleep to that, and maybe I'll have some good dreams. I don't really think that's a great thing to do. I don't think Jesus would like that. But I don't know what to do anymore. I am at a loss, but I cannot keep going on like this. 7 years is too long, you know. Now, I did get happy for a little while when I found somebody else, but it didn't work out. And, you know, I found a third person, but again, that there just was no connection. So even during that period, I remember having bad dreams. It was better than nothing, though, I can say that. But the church thing seems to weigh on my mind the most. I'll have dreams about them actually having the police called and walking me out in handcuffs and stuff like that. I'll have just really bad stuff, and then you feel funky the whole morning. I'm constantly trying to get out of that dream from what I had, and it totally messes your day up. I don't want to go through it anymore. Doctors really don't know what to do. You know, they've got me regulated on some medicines that work pretty good for at least depression, but they don't know how to help this psychological condition I have now. It's a mind thing, obviously, but I think a lot of it is from feeling abandoned, you know, from a lot of people, not just from the church, but friends, family. Nobody's really willing to do anything that I've requested. They just say, "Oh, just do it, move on, whatever," you know. And I'm like, "Well, I'm trying, but it's not working." And how many times can you ask somebody for help? And if they're not willing to help you, what do you do? You know, I had one friend that was willing to go with me to the church, and he died. But he was ready to do it quite a few times. He's like, "I'll go. Let's go do it." He said, "If they call the cops, we'll just leave." He said, "I'll go with you." Kind of wish I would have done it while he was still alive. I don't know if it would have helped me or not to go there. But I think I would have felt good having them call the cops on me and me just leaving, because it would show them for how crazy they are, to think that I am a dangerous person, which I am not. Anybody that knows me knows I've never hit anybody in my life. I can't even stand it if an animal gets hit by my car. It crushes me. I am probably the most passive person on the planet. But when it came to somebody stealing away the love of my life from me, my God, I would fight like hell for her. And that's all I did. And for them to use that against me is incredibly mean, because they would do the same thing. In fact, one of the deacons did do that. He raised his voice to me, but then they want to complain about me. But he raised his voice to me. Now they fixed everything for him and his wife, so he doesn't care about Kat anymore, because everything worked out dandy for him. He also told my dad that they were going to work something out. Then he never calls my dad back. So then one day my dad finally calls him. And he acts like he didn't have the conversation with my dad. And my dad's like, well, don't you remember we talked about this? My son here is not doing well. We need to work something out. And basically it sounded like the church had talked to him and basically said, have nothing to do with him anymore. And he didn't even have the courtesy to tell us that, like to call us and let us know. He just let it happen when my dad called him. And, my dad got pretty mad then at that point with the gentleman, because we really felt like we were getting the shaft. And so he even blew a gasket with the guy. But I didn't blame him afterwards. He apologized to me, and I said, hey, Dad, at least you fought for me. I said, that's the most fight I've ever seen anybody do for me. It meant a lot to me, what my dad did. My stepdad. Nobody else has done anything like that for me since then. And I don't think anybody will. I lost my only fighter. When it came to my girl, they did anything and everything for her. When I needed help, I had to pay up the wazoo, thousands of dollars to a lawyer for 20 hours to tell me there's nothing they can do. After they spend $2,000 of my money, nothing we can do. Even my dad said, yeah, I didn't think they were going to do that to us, take advantage of us like that. Probably could have done it in a 5-minute Google search. Is there anything we can do for a disabled lady and a disabled man that, want to be together? Nope, nothing we can do. Church has never ever done anything like this before. No church ever gotten involved in breaking somebody up, unless there was some kind of physical abuse, which it wasn't. There wasn't any mental abuse either. There was mental abuse towards me from another family member, but I didn't do any abuse. And but I was the one that got blamed. And then when I said, well, all you have to do is tell everybody the truth, that everybody's willing to go to counseling except for one person, they said they couldn't do that. Oh, that's not our place. Well, it's your place to let this person destroy my reputation all over the place, saying whatever they want without anybody to clarify it. I felt like I was raped and nobody believed me. I still feel that way. I got kicked out of Action Club, part of Kiwanis, that I used to be part of, because apparently I make people uncomfortable there. Never was an issue before. I know a lot of people miss me there. But yeah, I guess it bothers one person. so I can't go. And people wonder why I can't get over it. You know, I don't ever hear from any of those people again that, were so caring at the time, but now I hear nothing from them. Not even on my birthday. Some people would at least get a hold of me on my birthday, check in with me. That doesn't happen anymore. Like I said, it's been 7 years. Everybody seems everything's hunky-dory. Just move on. Just go to another church. I don't ever want to put my faith in another church again, because this church has still yet to forgive me for whatever I did. I guess raising my voice because I was trying to save the woman I love, that I'd been with for 10 years, that I proposed to and she had accepted, and we only couldn't get married because she would lose her benefits. Basically what it came down to. And that poor girl is also still miserable. Never to date again, because it's too scary for that family member to actually let their daughter grow up and become an adult. So never let her date again, that's for sure. So not only can I be disappointed that I don't have a relationship, I can be disappointed that I am the reason she can no longer have a relationship. Pretty sad, right? Why haven't I gotten over it? When we were together on Facebook, we would post all the time. I don't really post anything about my family anymore, or anything that's going on with me, because what's the point? Nobody cares. And I am able to look at her Facebook, because she had to start a new one. She did unblock me before her old one got deleted, and I was able to capture a lot of the stuff before somehow her Facebook got deleted. I'm sure that happened by the family member to get away from all the memories we had. But anyways, I look at that Facebook page a lot, and I don't see hardly anything posted by her anymore. When I do, it looks like it's just forced. I don't see her smile like she used to smile, and I don't think she's happy. That's just my opinion. But hey, that's the way it is, right? I guess we're supposed to be miserable, as long as that one family member is happy, and everybody else can just stick their head in the sand and go on as if everything is hunky-dory. Who cares, right? Nobody cares about Kat. Not at that church anyways. And not really a lot of my Facebook friends. The only people that really care about me are on the CB app. Those are my friends, my true friends. And my buddy Jeff. Can't leave out Jeff. He has me over to play football, go to movies, just go to his airplane thing when he flies the airplanes. He does his best to pick up his friend. But it's only temporary, because I'm always alone later, thinking about being alone. I don't know if this was a good idea or not. But I'm tired of being quiet about it, that's for sure. I thought if I'd been quiet, maybe the church would forgive me. But it doesn't seem like it. So I might as well just voice my stuff out and let people at least hear it. Maybe that's what God wants me to do. I figure if they don't want to forgive me, then my voice should be for God, and let people know that you don't need to go to church to have faith. I think church is destroying faith, actually, because I'm losing faith right now by what this church is doing. And by no other church is helping me. I have no faith in church at all anymore. I wouldn't trust them at all for anything, which is really sad. My dad did the books for the church. I can say their name. I'm not in trouble with them. River Oaks Community Church. He did their checks and all their stuff for payroll, taxes, for over a decade, maybe 2 decades, I don't know, for a long time. And then they finally got somebody that they were going to pay to do it, because my dad did it for free. And that's all good. But then when my dad dies, do they even come to his funeral? Nope. And my dad had the pastor do everybody's funeral that died. His mom's funeral, his sister's funeral, Galen's funeral, everybody he would have that pastor do their funeral. And he doesn't come to my dad's funeral. How can you even think anything about church except they're only out to make money when you got somebody like that? I remember babysitting his son, Josh. Yep. And he can't even come to my dad's funeral. Amazing. This won't be the last time I talk about this. I can tell you that. A lot of people probably are like, well, what church is it? Who's the family member? I don't want to put any of that out. What's the point? Maybe I'll tell you the church someday. When it's clear to me that they're never going to let me out back there. I might as well let everybody know who they are then. But, maybe there's still a chance they'll let me come back. Because I don't want to be at the pearly gates and see people not get in because of how they hurt me. I want them to rectify this now, here on earth, so I can sleep again, not have these nightmares. I don't think that's too much to ask. I said I'd be willing to go into the church with handcuffs on, if that's what's necessary for me to sit there. If they think I'm going to get out of control. I mean, I think that'll be a little ridiculous, but I'm willing to do that. I'm willing them to set whatever ground rules they want, actually, for me to come back to church. Because I'm not going to do anything stupid. Because that would basically make me look stupid. And that is not my goal. And my goal is not to make them look stupid either. My goal is to be forgiven, like Jesus Christ preaches. I can remember a sermon given by the priest that said you're not mean and you don't lie. You don't be mean to people and you don't lie about people. And I have had these people be mean to me and lie about me. Something they preached you're not supposed to do. They're hypocrites. Unless they let me back in. And I'm not going to let this go. Either they're going to let me back in, or my life's mission will be to do this. Maybe that's what I have to do. It kind of dried up my tears real quick. Maybe Jesus wants me to do this. I don't know. All I know is that the status quo ain't working. So I'm gonna do new stuff. This is one thing. The next thing might be going to church and having them call the cops on me. Maybe one of my friends will stick up for me now and say, I'll go with you. Let them call the cops on you. That'll be the end of it. Everybody can see it. You never have to go there again, and we'll be done with this. You know? Because I'll leave as soon as they say they're calling the cops. I'm like, I'm out then. I'm gone. I'm out of here. I ain't sticking around. Because I learned it doesn't work to stay around and tell your side. You just get in trouble. So you're just supposed to leave. So I would, you know. But I think I have the right to at least show up there. I don't think permanent expulsion is warranted. I think they should have to tell me when I show up there again. Say, no, we don't want you here. We don't think you're safe. And I think they should do it in front of the entire congregation. So everybody knows what they're about. Is that making them look bad, or is that just making them be honest in front of the church? Okay, you're just trying to destroy the church. No. I'm trying to stop having bad dreams. I don't know what to do anymore. My psychologist doesn't know what to do. I don't know what to do. Family don't know what to do. None of my friends know what to do. I thought I'll just put it out here on YouTube, you know, on Podbean. Maybe somebody can comment and tell me what to do. Somebody might have an idea to help me. But, like I said, 7 years is a long time. And it's really time for this to end. I'm really tired of it. I should be forgiven by the church. The stuff with Action Club should be done with. There's no reason I shouldn't be able to be there. You know, I've never caused an issue in my life. This stuff is absurd. I've been outcast and shunned away for no reason, but because one person didn't like me. I'm sorry it was such a depressing catcast. But, you know, when I'm tossing and turning, afraid to fall asleep, and it's the 1 year anniversary, the hell am I supposed to do? So, this has probably been the realest podcast I've ever done. Pretty real. It's honest, 100% from the heart. Looking dead at that camera every time I've been talking. This is Cat with his heart open, saying I need to be forgiven. I've forgiven the church, and I want them to forgive me now and let me back. That's all I want. I will cause no scene. I will make no ruckus. I may not go up for communion, but other than that, I'll sit there and stand when I'm supposed to and recite the Nicene Creed and do everything like I'm supposed to. And go around and give people peace when the peace comes. The only thing I won't be able to do probably is go up for communion. But that is my decision. And that should not reflect on you or the church. That's my choice of who I want to take communion from. So, this has been the Catcast. You've been listening to Cat Kennison. I hope you come again tomorrow, and hopefully we'll have a better podcast. But I appreciate you listening today, because I had to I feel better getting this off my chest. So thank you. Thank you, listeners, and people that appreciate the cat. I appreciate you. We'll see you next time. Bye now.